Hello. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. We have another sports discussion for those of you who want to stick around, and it's on MMA. So this is the next big sport revolution that is coming to Saudi, coming to the Middle East. Please feel free to take a seat. For those people that are networking from the previous session, if you can either take a seat or go network outside, that would be wonderful. Hi, welcome. You guys can sit closer to the front. Yeah, you're good there? Okay. Oh, yes, thank you so much. If I can get some of you in the back, come sit closer to the front. Wonderful, thank you so much. All right, we're gonna give it just one more minute. Thank you for being here. We have some gentlemen moving to the front. Thank you so much for sitting there. Amazing, we appreciate you. We still have some people networking there in the back. All right, let's see if we give it just another minute. How many of you are MMA fans? 1, 2, 3. Ladies, are you MMA fans? No. Have you ever watched MMA? You haven't. Well, now I think this is going to be your inspiration to watch some MMA. I actually have watched MMA fighting. It's very intense, I will say. Lots of skin to skin, you know. So I'm glad this is not being recorded yet, okay? We're going to wait. We are going to give this just one more minute. We are waiting for John, one of our two panelists. Okay, perfect. Wonderful. Hi, welcome. Love for you to take a seat. Amazing. I'm just going to take one more pulse of the audience. Who here is your first time at FII? First time? First time at FII? First time. This is amazing. So you didn't come see me last year. Okay, did you guys see me on the main stage yesterday? He saw me on the main stage yesterday. Okay, I'm going to be back on the main stage tomorrow. So you guys are getting the best MC there is. All right, let's give this just one more minute. Don't worry. Where are you guys from? London? From Syria. Oh, that's amazing. You're going to watch the discussion on Syria later this evening? Of course you are. Ladies, where are you from? Here in Saudi. Thank you for having us. And where are you guys from? From Japan. Did you see I interviewed the governor of Tokyo yesterday? You missed that. It's unbelievable. Please grab a seat. Welcome. We're starting in about 2 minutes. Perfect. I'm just asking people where they're from, so you get to be my next person that I pick on. Chicago. Oh, wow, welcome. And this is your first FII? Oh, wow. Well, welcome. Welcome. We can start. Okay. All right, everybody, so let's kick this off. We've been talking a lot about sports that ignite passion on this stage, that combine athletic mastery and storytelling and global fandom, and there is nothing like MMA to combine all of that. It's raw, it's real, and it's rewriting the definition of competition around the world, but especially here in the Kingdom and in the Middle East. So today we are asking the question, is MMA, and welcome, please take a seat, is MMA the Middle East's next big sports sector? And for that, I would love for you to welcome my guests. We have Biaggio Ali Walsh, MMA fighter for the PFL. Thank you so much. Take a seat. And John Martin, CEO of the Professional Fighters League. John, how are you? I haven't seen you yet. Hi. Please have a seat.
Hello.
Thank you. All right. So I'm actually going to kick it off with John, and we have a very intimate audience today. So if you guys if you have any questions, raise your hand. I would love to call on you, and we can switch up the format a little bit since we have a small crowd, okay? So John, you have brought some of that same expertise and experience of building global entertainment brands into the world of combat sports. You've reimagined how MMA is produced, how it's broadcast and experienced, and you're also a fighter, I read. Is that true?
Long time ago. Long time ago. Never as good as Biaggio.
I wouldn't hold you to that, but is it true that it's karate and jiu-jitsu?
For me, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Any preference?
No. Blend. Mixed martial arts.
Mixed. Well, that's why it's called MMA. So from those of these perspectives, from sort of your media mogul perspective and then as a fighter, what do you think is driving this growing passion for MMA in the Middle East?
I think what has always attracted me to mixed martial arts, from a business standpoint, is it is one of the truly only global sports. If you look at MMA around the world, it has the third largest fan base of any other sport. There's number one would be football. Number two, most people say, is basketball.
Okay.
But number three is mixed martial arts. And with nearly 700 million global fans. And if you look at where those fans are, they're everywhere. 85% of them are outside of the US, where I've spent most of my life. And at PFL, what's one of the things that's really excited me is they've made a big investment in this area of the world. We've got a joint venture here with our partners from the PIF. It's an entity called Surge. And we're doing business here in the Middle East and Northern Africa. We've held events. By the end of this year, we will have held 10 events in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
We've held two events in Dubai, and we're in great constructive discussions in a lot of interesting territories, including Bahrain and Abu Dhabi, and we look forward to going back to Dubai. And we have our next event in Saudi Arabia is on December 5th in Al Bukhar. So this is an exciting area. In the Middle East, it's probably slightly less developed than in other areas of the world. So our investments here are really meant to try to help develop the sport and provide a pipeline for the next generation of fighters to come.
And early days is good. Early days is good for investors in the room and people that are watching this conversation as well.
Everything is very encouraging. There's great demand for the product that we have. That's why I'm very excited to be here.
So I just learned something today. I don't know about you guys. So most popular sports in the world, football, bueno, as we would say in Latin America, football.
Football.
Football, basketball.
We say soccer in America. Sorry about that.
It's football, basketball, and then MMA. That's incredible.
Yes.
So, Biagio, for you as a fighter, what do you think, I mean, when you fight here, what do you think is driving this passion for the sport in this part of the world?
First off, I'm super blessed to be here, so thank you for having me. I think, like John said, it's one of the most popular sports in the world. The Middle East has the investments to make profound events, MMA events as well. I had my professional debut out here in Riyadh, and it was super grandiose. It was amazing, and it was an unbelievable experience, and I hope to fight here again. But we can see it growing out here in the Middle East, and I love to see that happening, especially me being a Muslim and being able to fight in front of my brothers and sisters. It's amazing.
So there's that cultural connection for you.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. And for those of you who don't know, Biagio comes from one of the most iconic sport legacies in the world. His grandfather is Muhammad Ali, and Muhammad Ali changed the face of boxing, of culture, and seeing you carve your own path in MMA is really a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
To see.
Thank you.
John, I'm going to go to you now. The Professional Fighters League has made some major moves across the region, from Saudi to the UAE, as you said. From sort of more strategic standpoint, what makes the Middle East such an exciting market, and how does it fit into PFL's global vision?
We have ambitions to be virtually everywhere. We have established operations in the United States, in Europe, in the continent of Africa. We've announced we're standing up a league in Australia beginning in 2026 that will include New Zealand. We're in discussions to move the PFL to Asia, and in discussions in Latin America also. And we would be missing something enormous if we weren't here in this part of the world. I mean, I've had the pleasure and the privilege just over the last couple of months of spending considerable time here and in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi, just to name a few. And you have to be hiding under a rock not to understand all the activity and investment and culture that is happening right here in this part of the world right now. So it's a thrill and a privilege to be here and to bring the world of MMA here in a premium and amplified way. MMA is a sport that it's one of the only few sports that it has no borders. It's instantly recognizable, and it brings people together. It brings cultures together. If you haven't seen Biaggio fight, please treat yourself. He is a young and upcoming star, and he will have fans in every country throughout the world. I'm certain of it. And that's one of the unique things about mixed martial arts is because people, and if you're a mixed martial artist, you have respect for the art and the discipline and the elite level of the athleticism. And it, like I said, it's borderless, and that's really one of the things that's so attractive about this sport.
So I hear you, and it's in the name, refer to it as an art, truly, you know. And even getting to know you briefly backstage, you know, there is sort of this artistic quality to which, almost like a spiritual quality to which you're approaching this sport. So how does it speak to you, and why did you choose MMA when you were deciding, you know, this is what I'm going to dedicate my life to now?
Absolutely. You know, I come from a boxing family, of course. I was always a boxing fan growing up. I played American football, and I got to the college level, and, you know, things weren't really working out the way I thought they would. And, you know, like most athletes, when they're done with a certain sport, it's kind of like a what now moment. For me, I wanted to stay in shape, and I started training over at Extreme Couture in Las Vegas, and I came to a conclusion where training was the only thing that excited me every day. And I kept training, and I started to get better, and I started to love it. And
how old were you at this point?
I was around 22 years old. I'm 27 now.
Okay, when you
but
started.
This was, you know, something that I started to like a lot, and I told myself, you know, you only have one life. I don't want to be an old man and think back, what if I tried? What if I fought? Would I have been a good fighter? You know, I don't want to have those kind of questions and regret when I'm older. So I told myself, you know, I want to see how far I can go. And that's pretty much how I got into MMA. I also like the idea of a street fight, you know, a glorified street fight where it's not just boxing, it's not just hands, you know, you could kick and knee and do all sorts of stuff. So that curiosity really is kind of what got me into it.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
I was actually polling some of the people here in the audience. You heard me, to see if they knew, like, you know, what MMA was or had watched. A lot of people, big fans. Some in the back didn't know. So how would you describe it?
I love the fans. You know, I always fight for the fans, and the fans love exciting fights. They love exciting fighters. I'm the kind of fighter where I'm always going to come forward and I'm going to put on an exciting fight, whether I knock someone out or get knocked out. So the fans love to see that, and I love the fans. So
I think one of the things, even to go further to that answer, one of the things how I would describe mixed martial arts is there's always a curiosity of who the toughest person is in the room. You know, who if there's only two people.
In life and in sports.
Well, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's right. It's
especially here at FII.
Well, it's everywhere, right? I mean, fighting is primal.
Yeah.
And so mixed martial arts, which has rules, don't get me wrong, but it's probably in the fighting game, it's the closest thing to what a real street fight would be, where it's sort of like, okay, those two people, almost anything goes. Who's the toughest person in the room? And that's a curiosity that I think a lot of people have.
And with like your bare, you know, like your bare hands, there's no
almost,
gadgets,
you know,
there's
you're wearing 4-ounce gloves, so
exactly.
it's pretty close to that, you know, and that's kind of how MMA started. You know, it was also what martial arts the best. You know, you got the wrestler versus the boxer, the judo guy versus the karate guy. You know, that's kind of how mixed martial arts started, was the question of what martial arts the best. And now you have a mix of everything, and they can play a part in a fight. So
I'm going here in a tandem, but I'm just so fascinated by this subject matter. Is there like a move that you're known for, or one that you like particularly like to?
I like to come forward and use my hands.
Okay. What about you, John?
You know, I played. How did you pronounce the Latin? Football.
Football.
Okay, so I played football from age 5 until I was 24. I became a mixed martial arts student when I was age 25, and I did it for 15 years, and I fought in amateur tournaments. But because of my football upbringing, I felt great kicking. I loved kicking. I loved standing up. And I learned jiu-jitsu and wrestling later in life because you realize that, and in fact, in real street fights, almost every fight ends up on the ground.
Yeah.
So you could be a great stand-up fighter,
That's a good
striker,
point, yeah.
and even somebody who knows how to kick really well, which not a lot of people do. But if it goes to the ground, if you don't know how to protect yourself, it's over.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really drove my curiosity, which is I wanted to become a more well-rounded fighter.
And what you both hit on, which I think is evident, is the level of athleticism that is required to actually do this, you know?
It's also terrifying.
Yeah.
The first time you stand, and we
Yeah.
were talking
Exactly.
about this, we spent some time yesterday. The first time I stood in front of an individual where I said to myself, the only thing this person is thinking about at this moment is how to hurt me. You feel very humble and very respectful of what you're trying to do. And then you realize as you do it more and more and more, and you build confidence, you have to be able to stay humble though, because no matter how good you get, there's always going to be somebody better.
Yeah.
But if you can handle that defeat, or if you can handle that humility, and just know that you're there to get better, that's one of the things that kept me coming back, even though I almost quit jiu-jitsu 100 times. I got so frustrated. You're rolling on the ground, and every single move you try, somebody who's better than you is like choking you or ready to pull your arm out.
How mental is it?
Oh, it's
sport?
It's mostly mental. Everything's mostly mental. Me and John were talking yesterday. Composure is one of the most important things you can do, especially in fighting, but in anything you do, you know. If you can stay relaxed, then things come a little
Even when you're like pinned to the ground,
Yeah.
you know, and you're thinking, how am I going to get out of this?
Yeah, it's composure is a mental thing, and everyone says, you know, it's a mental game, and it's very true.
But that's helped me in life.
Yeah.
As Biaggio just said, I mean, everything that's stress in life, it triggers the same emotional response.
Right.
But if you could protect yourself physically, almost everything else seems like it's a piece of cake. It's
Yeah,
no
it gives
problem.
you a resiliency that's incredible. So we've talked a lot about truly, for me, it being a storyteller. This is about storytelling. This is about, you know, developing athletes. You coming from a media background, John, how important is that to this growing sport?
Well, as you said, I was at a media and entertainment company for 30 years. And one of the things that's always drawn me to this sport is understanding, okay, it's not just the fight itself, but who are the fighters? Why are they here? What in their life has propelled them to want to do this? And understanding that, and then understanding the matchup itself. And there's an old saying in fighting that, you know, styles make the fight. So if somebody's a ground fighter and somebody's a stand-up fighter, well, that's sort of interesting. And then you look at their backgrounds and how did they get to this fight? And then, of course, as they're promoting the fight, they're promoting excitement. And then if you're lucky enough to be in an arena and you feel the energy of the crowd, and then there's a dramatic walk-up where the fighters are walking out to the cage and there's music playing, and by the time the doors shut on the cage, there's so much excitement. You can't wait to see the fight. And it's also, the storytelling part of it is so important. And that's one of the things that I hope to be able to bring to the PFL. And we're going to elevate that part of our business even to greater levels than where we're at right now.
What you were just describing, it sounded so universal to me, like almost like a story that we've seen since we were like in caves. You know what I mean? Like this idea of like leading up to a fight and then seeing who the best human is, you know?
It's modern day gladiators.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're running out of time, so if you both will appease me, I'll do a quick, fun lightning round with the both of you. Does anybody have any questions in the audience? We'll do a quick question, and then we'll do the lightning round. Go ahead. I'll translate for you.
I can speak English.
Oh, well, no. Oh, wait.
Translate.
And then we have a mic over here for you, John.
Okay, this
Thank
is
you.
Hossam from the family office. Actually, we have invested through KKR in UFC fund, so we are a big fan of the MMA. One comment and one question. The comment is, I used to love boxing until I started watching MMA, and I see boxing is very boring. So thank you for these fighters who are making these events wonderful events.
Thank you for that comment.
Yeah, that.
Thank you.
The question is, UFC is prevailing that sport now. Is there any other plans to have mimic some organization like UFC in this part of the world? Or just we are copying UFC or bringing UFC to the Middle East? Because we have events in Riyadh for UFC,
Yes.
Abu Dhabi, and Baku, but Baku is not necessarily Middle East, but it's in the region.
So the quick answer is yes. One of the things that is I didn't realize until I started thinking about taking this role at the PFL. If you look at football, there are thousands of professional football matches a year, right? I mean, and there are many, many successful leagues geographically around the world. Basketball is the same thing. There's more and more professional leagues being set up. There are thousands of opportunities to watch professional games. Between the UFC and the PFL, which are the only two premium mixed martial arts organizations in the world, there are only 80 events. So what that means to me is if you have 700 million fans and only 80 events, the fan base is massively underserved. So UFC, which is the leader in the industry, they've been around for 33 years. PFL has only been here for 7. What we have done in 7 years is we've stood up a global organization. We have the second best fighter roster in the world. 40% of our global fighters are ranked in the top 25 in their weight class in the world. We've got a global footprint, a global platform. PFL could be already seen in 170 countries around the world. We're trying to bring more and more notice. We want to raise the brand awareness so that people start thinking of us in the same conversation with UFC. I think both UFC and PFL can succeed because the market is so massive. And so we compete, yes. We're a little bit different. We have some different formats, but essentially at the end of the day, it is about the quality of the fighters and the excitement of the fights and your ability to tell those stories, which is so important to get the attention of the fans. So the shorter answer is we know everything that UFC is doing. They know everything that we're doing. There's so much business to be done here in this region. I think we can both be here and be successful.
That's a great sort of wrap up of everything. I would have loved to have done the lightning round. We'll just have to do it at another event, maybe FII 10 next year. Big round of applause for our panelists.
Thank you guys.
That was an amazing panel. I think we're going to do a quick group shot over here, and maybe I'm going to get in a fighting stance. What do you think? Yeah? We should do a fun one. All right. All right.